Follow Panic Sphere on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, it comes free with a fake American accent on a nice jingle that I put together. How cool is that? Thanks for joining me, guys. I am going to go for about an hour tonight on Tour 12, just bashing about. It's a tour that I sit on day to day. In fact, it's the tour I've spent most time on. In the 19, 20 months that I've been playing the game, most tours I've spent, maybe 2 or 3 months on. I think I was on Tour 10 for about 4 months, Tour 11 for about 3. And then since I went on to 12, there's nowhere else to go, so I've sat here. Played it a lot. I would say, like most tours, once you get to the sort of, you've maxed it out and you've stayed on it for a while, your gameplay goes from being 50-50 to 60-40 to 70-30. Tour 12 is a bit different. It is a bit different, and there's still the same principles apply. You'll come across new players on it and find it much easier to take them, but there is an element of the people you're playing on this tour are some of the best in the game. And so if you can keep it above 50-50, I think that's a massive result. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for joining. Cheers for subscribing. Appreciate it. All the way from Hawaii. I look forward to watching you on your channel as well. Thanks for saying hi too. But this is it's a fun tour. There's a lot. If you're used to Tour 11, it's not dissimilar insofar as you're working off the back tees, so you have that same element of wind movement and the second press. Cody, thanks for joining. But with Tour 12, the punishments just seem so much more extreme. And I'll give you an idea what it's like, and this happens to everybody. And every Tour 12 player I know that I've spoken to, this has happened to them. So last Tuesday, I played for 3 hours, lost 900 trophies. Lost 900 in 3 hours. And I was sitting down at the sort of 5,300 point thinking, shit. And it's not the first time it's happened. And it took me 3 or 4 days to build them back up again, but it's brutal. So let's get cracking. I'm actually going to load myself up with Titan. That's what I prefer to use mostly, just because it's less expensive than running KMs all the time. This is my bag primarily. I do very occasionally switch to something different, but if you've got Cat 7, your first day in T12, yeah, it's funny. The other thing as well is with Tour 12, you can get, when you first start on it, you can get a nice little run going. And what you find is that it's, I don't get beaten very often on Tour 12. I beat myself all the time. I make really bad decisions, and end up in the shit. And, every now and again I see a player that comes onto the tour with 5170 and I rub my hands together and think, brilliant, this is a Tour 11 guy stepping up. I'll cream it and try and take I try not to absolutely thrash them because I want to get a replay, another chance at some more cash. But and then I throw it away, try and get cocky, just chuck it in the bin. So we'll get cracking. I'll talk you through the elevations. If you've got any questions, just ask them of me. If anything goes wrong, I'm really bad at noticing when my feed goes tits up, so just tell me. Because I'm completely incompetent at this sort of shit. I'm at that age, 48 years old, where my technical capability is relatively crap. In fact, I'm going to show you something. This is my streaming setup, and it's only because I have my own. Let me turn that back the right way. So, hang on. See, I've lost you already. My video capture has decided to lose me. Let's get me back again. Hang on. Bloody thing. Not working. I've got 2 captures on. I don't know which one to look at. Thanks for subscribing, Cody. I have just for some reason lost my capture, so I'm just gonna set that back up again. This is the sort of shit that happens to me all the time. I go to do something and I press the wrong button. This happens to me when I'm playing as well. Right. Let's add the source for that. It's all gone horribly wrong. Hang on. I don't know why it's not showing my current capture. Let me just unlink you. Link you back again. I was about to show you my streaming setup. Am I on what? Sorry. VPN? No, not at all. Just this is all about me being absolutely bloody useless. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was just me being rubbish. Let me stretch that screen out a touch so you can see a bit better. There we go. Let's just get cracking before I press another button that's wrong. All right, we're gonna get started. I do use KMs and I do use the occasional special. Like I said, I try and use Titans because it seems to be the almost the cheapest way. I do know some great players that sit on this tour with navigators, and as good as they are, and they do beat me. There are certain SOs where you've got a P1 ball, it's game over, or you got a P1 wind 2 ball, it's game over. So this hole featured in tourney recently, it's 15% drop on the tee shot. Couple of ways of playing this. You can either play no, unfortunately you could try and snipe. The feed's about 25 seconds behind, so we'd have to time it in a weird way. I'd have to say go and then wait 25 seconds before I started, but I think it keeps me with sort of European players. I very rarely play the Americans. Anyway, thanks for subscribing, Cody and Jeff. I really appreciate it. And thanks for joining us. We've got somebody joining us on Twitch as well. Appreciate you coming in. So this guy's going to try and play the rough bump, and it's a 15% elevation here. And interestingly, a 15% elevation for shot 2. I'm not going to play this route, although when I was first learning this tour, I quite often took a P1 wind 5 ball here and played exactly this. Because it's a 15% drop on the rough bump, but I prefer to take a slightly different route. So I'm going to bring this back to mid distance, put it to about there. Now you'll see my ball guide, the second bounce is just over on the green. I expect this to actually pitch in the rough just before it. It may not. 9.4. Because there's just enough of a headwind to bite it back, and then it will roll into the middle. If not, it shouldn't carry too far over. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Nice little feed out, bump into the rough. And then I've got another 15% shot here. And this shot, sometimes it will depend on the way the wind's coming in. I knew it would be a crosswind. There's something about this second shot. They always give you a crosswind from that left side. I might play it 20%. Now, I don't ever use a VPN. To be honest with you, I have thought about it so I can get to play other players, but I might be too scared of playing people. So he's going for the rough bump here. He's going to be, I didn't see what distance he was playing this at, but we'll have a look. It looks like he's playing that at minimum. It didn't look like he was playing 15%. And that's the other problem with playing the rough bump there. When to a headwind, it can die. Right, I'm going to have quite a strong crosswind here. So really, this is about what distance I play it at. I try not to use spin. I'm going to run this at 80. I try not to use spin. I much prefer a sort of natural feed up to the hole. This should get me quite close. Oh, unless I hit great right, in which case it won't be far away, but far enough. No, 15 I think here. Sometimes 20 if it's a particularly strong crosswind, but 12.9 I don't really regard as strong on Tour 12. Maybe once it gets upwards of 14.5, 15, I'd probably play 20 there. But 15% on the tee shot, 15% on the second shot. There's a lot of 15s actually in Tour 12. It's quite a good rule of thumb to go, if you're not sure what the elevation is, play 15. There's a couple of holes where that'll actually sink you or get in real trouble. There's a Porthello Cove hole which is 40 or 50%. So let's have a look, see where it puts us for the SO. Okay, I like this SO. I'm probably going to bin it now I've said that. It's 10% here. And there's 3 shot choices as far as I can determine, and I've holed every single one of them. In a tailwind, I play at 0 yards with the cat, red ring by the rough line, or blue ring if the wind is right to left. 1.8 top, as much right spin as you've got. Max plus 10, and then curl it according to wherever the wind is going. There's 2 ways of playing it in a headwind. You can either play the rough bump, where you want to play about 4 top spin and 3 right spin, but I mean this is going to be like 15.6 for me, something like that. Or in the way he's probably playing it, I would play 2 backspin, 2 right spin at minimum. Let's see how close he gets. Yeah, that's a decent shot. I've got to give him props for that. That's a good shot. And probably a winning shot. 16.5. It's as strong as it gets with the Titan. So, I don't know if you guys ever use the wind arrow. I don't always, but I am a fan of it. So, with a 16.5 wind, without this wind arrow, I'd be pulling this 11. But with it, I'm going to pull it 14.5. Ah, great right again. Oh, wow. That died. Strong wind. Okay, 1 down. I massively overpulled. I meant to rematch him there. That's me not concentrating. I really overpulled that adjustment as well. That shouldn't have died. There is a problem as you hit the second bounce there. The front of the green is really glitchy, and if there's like a slopey bump about where the second bounce is, and the trick is to try and bounce it on the front of the slopey bump, and it kills the bounce and lets it roll into the hole. If you catch the backside of it, oh great avatar, Denver. If you catch the backside of it, speaking of backsides, it will just roll into oblivion. You'll end up 15 yards past the hole. So there's definitely a place. Okay, so With a bit more of a tailwind here, I'd probably go for this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pull it back to mid-distance. I'm going to play 4.5 top, 2 right. I'm going to adjust this mid plus 10, which is 12.8. And then you want to give this a decent amount of curl. You can over curl it, but this is likely to pitch in the rough and then roll forward, yeah, which is absolutely fine. And if I'd have missed that rough, it would have just rolled into that corner. So nice and safe. Next shot's 5%. I used to play it at 10. All the guides say it's 10%, and every time I played it at 10%, I found myself over adjusting every single time. So I started experimenting, and I found that it dropped more at 5. The reality is it's about a 6, 6.5, 7, something like that. So what I tend to play is I'll play 5% and then I'll pull an extra 0.2, 0.1, 0.2, depends on what the wind's like. Now he might just trickle this over. Lots of people do this as well. They just bump it over. It doesn't really matter where they land. I find you get a better shot for the second shot further over right, because you've got a choice then of hitting the first part of the fairway and rolling up, or you can take the rough bump. Yeah, that's held up well. Okay, so quite a big bit of wind here. So I'm not going to be able to pull that for the rough bump. Alright. I think we're talking about 75% here. It's a bit of a guess, to be honest with you. Get in that hole. Oh, underpulled. Must be close to 80, 85. It's not a given that. It's always a nice one when it drops. It's one of those holes where if there's a tailwind, I probably expect to have an eagle. Although even it's a tough shot, just to try and get the spin right. Because what you do is play the first bounce on the first fairway and have the second bounce on this second part. I've only got Falcon level 6, so I'm on Hornet. I use Thorn in tournaments for some holes. I've always been a Hornet user. I got put off with the Thorn very early on when I was on like tours 4 and 5, because every fucker that had one tried to backspin it into the hole and nobody ever nailed it, and I never really understood it as a shot. Like, you don't see pro golfers just trying to backspin it into the hole. They try and chip it into the hole. Is he going to drop this? No. So I got put off with it. And the thing about the Hornet I found is that if you hit great left or great right, there's still quite a lot of chance of it dropping because it's such an accurate club. Depends at distance, obviously. But I've started to like the Thorn. On my baby account, Panic Sphere, my Hornet up until last week was only level 7, I think. And I've got Thorn 9 or Thorn 8, and Thorn 8's just so much more usable than Hornet level 7. So I've been using it, so I got used to using it. But both this and Sparta Clash, I use the Hornet. I will switch to Falcon. Oh, I hate this hole. So this will either be 30%. Yeah, it's going to be 30%. So we're going to play this with Cat at 30%. But what we're going to do, the principal part of this is you're going to start at 9 yards. Don't start beyond 9 yards. Because if you start beyond 9 yards, find yourself in that rough, and I'm going to offset that quite a bit. Right, so it's almost 1-to-1 cat at 30% with a P3 ball. You have to hit this perfect. Snatched at that a bit. Stop. Little glitch roll. Could have done with a touch more backspin, but that will do. I mean, it's there or thereabouts. You normally find about 5 yards wins this hole. The difficult thing here isn't. Firstly, you've got this danger of the first shot. I mean, he's sitting at 11 yards. He's going to be awfully tight. You watch when his first bounce comes in. He's going to be quite close. He pushed up to 12 as well. Might be alright because he's feeding up into that channel, but strong winds, I've had it before, and you just play a normal shot and it pitches in that rough. But you've also got to make sure that there's quite a lot of offset because it's 30%. It's 25% in a headwind for your driver, but 30% with a cat, and the offset's massive, which is why he's trying to curl it. Oh, he got close to that rough thing. And he's got a bigger glitch roll than me, so it's a case of who glitch rolled least far. That would be me. I'll take it. First win. See if he wants another crack. I should stop using arse jokes, shouldn't I? Another crack. What possesses somebody to use that as their avatar picture? Not complaining. Could be some sort of hairy builder's arse. Right, he's not going to play again. I still pick speed open chests occasionally. I have a theory on epic cards. I reckon I get epics in about 80% of my silver chests. So if you think you pay 100 gems for an epic card, the first one in the shop, well, if you're getting them in 80% of your silver chests, then you can open 10 chests. Here's that same one in a tailwind. You can get 10 chests for 200 gems and you'll get a minimum of 8 cards out of it. So we're playing this at plus 10. He's going to go full pelt. That's madness. Right, is he going to get away with it? No. So I have a little trick here. Doesn't always work, but I'm going to start in this middle section of this bunker, right? I'm going to push up 6.2. I'm going to go 1.5 left. Now I'm completely blind here. 9.6, so it's max plus 10. And then push up. And then we are going to do this. Oh, great left. Hopefully enough curl to cope with that. Bounce over. Make it over. You beauty. Doesn't get much nicer than that. I play the right curl there because just it is a linear hole, but it just doesn't feel like it. And if you try and play it straight, you'll end up either skimming through, because you can get a real glitch here, skimming through the green, you end up in the rocks over the back, or stopping early in the rough. And actually, if you stop early in the rough, it's not that difficult a shot. See, he's hit a perfect out of that. He should drop it. That's the other thing about Tour 12. You don't see many misses with short range rough irons. I missed a putt on a stream last week. Genuinely. Not my finest moment. I was concentrating on talking. Just got lazy. You guys still with me? Oh, yeah. Okay, headwind. This plays 25% slider. It's not mid-club, it's halfway between mid and minimum. So 25% slider, or just split the difference between your mid and your minimum numbers. And 10%. But 25% slider plus 10% would be 7.8 rings. 7.8 rings, right? But we don't want to do 7.8 rings. We want to do 10 rings, which is plus 40%. Oh yeah, you should only play T10 with navs and quasars. Absolutely, absolutely, you should only play T10 with navs and quasars. 9.7. Okay. I'm going to play yellow right up against this. I'm going to play 2 right and 2 back. I'm going to pull this 8.9. There we have it. And I'm just going to put a touch of curl. That should bring us into the hole quite nicely. Oh, it's died short. I might have lost that one. Didn't see how far his went. No, 25% slider, 10% elevation, but with the wind arrow. If you haven't got a wind arrow, 25% slider, 40% elevation, with a direct headwind. When it's not a direct headwind, this is why I say use the wind arrow. There's 2 holes in this tour where I actually use the wind arrow. One is the one you've just seen. The other is another Greenock. Is it Greenock? No, it's Drewmore Links. Another Drewmore Links hole that's also 25% slider. It took me a while to figure it out. Because even when you play that hole in a tailwind, yeah, see, I never used the arrow. I never used it, and then I was playing some bad shots. So I'll give you an example of where I learned to use the arrow first. That Maple Bay hole that's plus 35%, the one where you bounce on the island over, you bounce off the front island with the bunker on it over to the second island, is plus 35. But in a headwind, I found myself just dropping short. And then I figured it out and I used the wind arrow, still at plus 35%, 6 to 6.2 backspin, no offset needed because the offset comes from using the wind arrow. And I was putting it in the hole, like 1 in 3. So I don't use it much here, but I use it enough that it makes it valid. I never really used to use it in tour play at all. It was all about tourney play. Now, is that wind kind enough to let us get over? I might have to take a KM. I could play the safe route here, but he's already in position to score, and since you're in it to win it, you might as well have a crack at it. 15%, 5 top spin, 2 left spin. Let's see if I'm going to be pulling into the. Yeah, I'm going to switch that to KM. I'm going to take it to 6 top spin, 8.4, 7.8. He used the P4 ball. What we're going to do is put massive amounts of OP on this. Hit perfect. Get us over, come on. That's going to be okay. Yeah, the wind arrow. It's worth. I would never use it in a tailwind or a crosswind. I only ever use it in headwinds. It's actually not 2 SOs. It's probably 4 that I use it on, and I've just found that it's been money. You know, you take the tools you got. What am I at so far? 1 win and 2 losses, is it? 3 losses? Welcome to Tour 12. It's a great feeling though. Have either of you maxed the game yet, or are you just starting out on 12? I'm assuming you're just starting actually. Bit of a daft question. First time you see your name at the number 1 spot is pretty special, I've got to tell you. You'll be excited by it. Posting it all over GCE. Usual gump for this shot, plus 20%. I could play EB method, but it'll roll in from here. May not if I hit it great left, great right. Starting on my 3rd homebrew. That's probably not helping my game. Oh, that's good. It's the first beer of the year, that one. We called it 21 Punk Salute. Alright, back to this hole again. See if I can't play it better than I did last time. Still a headwind. So it's going to be 2 back, 3 right. I don't really use the wind arrow on this one. It was on a 16 mile an hour wind last time, which is why I thought about it. But what I do quite often do is add a ring. 10 accounts. Funny, my baby account, Panic Sphere, is clubs are pathetic. I've got APOC 5, like Grizzly 7, Thorn 8. It's bad, but Tour 11. But it just goes to prove, doesn't it? It's not the clubs, it's the knowledge of the holes. I mean, you can't use APOC 5 on Tour 11. You can't. You'll end up in a shit state. But I do have Thor 6, which helps. All right. So, because this is direct, 8.5 is telling me minimum is 5.7, so I'm going to pull this 6.7. Red ring by the rough at minimum, 3 across, 2 back. So that's 5.7. I'm going to pull an extra ring, like I said. There you go, stop. Oh, stop. Should be the win. I slightly OP'd that as I took it. Didn't mean to. But I had a big window of opportunity there. Okay. Gunnar, good player. This is a plus 10% hole. If they give this to us in a headwind, you'll learn more from this hole than you would in a tail, because there's a specific shot. He's given us a tail. Do you know what though? That is a big tail. Oh, come on. I'm going to play that full top, 1 right, 17.6, P5. This is going to be fun. Don't have overcooked that. Oh, overcooked the curl though. That was an error. You got, I mean, every now and again, you know, when you get a wind that just says, do it. The trick there is that is there. He's going to go for it as well. Go on, Gunnar. Oh no, it's definitely full top. I've had this pitch into the bunker in front of the green, roll out and roll past the pin. Oh, lost my connection. I don't even know what happened with this shot. Connection dropped completely. Don't know what's happening. Hang on 2 seconds, chaps. My feed has decided to go tits. I shall fix it. It's coming back. Technology, every now and again. So he ended up in the bunker as well. But he was playing left spin. It's not the right thing to do. You need to play right spin with a bit of left curl. Well, the good news is it's not like Tour 10 where if you've got a... Oh, my pleasure, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. I'll join you on one of your streams next time. Next time you're on, give us a shout. But this isn't like Tour 10 where if you're stuck with a P5 ball in a shootout, you're knackered. Doesn't make any odds in Tour 12 at all. Doesn't affect. In fact, in any sort of tailwind, I'll just play it at plus 12 and use P3 numbers. Stay safe, mate. Enjoy your day. Right. This is another 25% plus 10 wind arrow jobby. I'm going to do it P3 numbers, which is 18.5. And we're going to sit it there. 2 right, 2 back. This is going to tell me to pull it 17.1. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Oh, roll past. Not too far. Difficult shot that though. The trick on that is, I think it's the great left that took it out, because if you can get it to land on the in a curve of the green, it will roll towards pin. It's not like a funnel, but there's definitely well, there is a funnel, top right and top left hand corner, but you don't want to be up that way. Playing a massive adjustment on this. Let's see how well he goes. Oh. Massively overcooked the backspin. See if he wants another go. That'd be a no. It's amazing how people get funny when they lose. Let's clear a path for another chest. And let's just change that. Andy Ravo. I like Andy. Another send it-ish wind here. Maybe not. Andy's had a rough run of it. He was sitting at about 5,800 yesterday. He must have had a bad day. Minutes, another 15 to go. Then I'm going to continue to drink as I can. Right. 6 top, 2 side. What you want to do is find your white against the edge and then pull it back a ring away from the edge. 11.7, I'm going to play this max plus 10, so it's 10.4. Don't push up. Now I'm going to add a tiny bit of OP, not going to be full curl. Should have been with that shot. Might end up in the rough there, you know. Should have gone full curl. You don't have to go full curl with the KM. I might be alright with this wind. What I'll likely do, you don't want to be a hero. This bunker's a real trap. Left to right wind here is going to need loads of offset. I'll try and play it in this gap up the left hand side. And all I want to do is roll the ball to the fringe, because you know you're going to drop it from the fringe. So I see people, you know, this second shot from the rough, they try and go for the green, and I just think, why? Put it in a place where you know you're going to drop it, regardless of what happens. Regardless of what happens. This will be a decent shot from Andy. No, he's hit a great right there. That's not too bad. Just got to make sure of it. He knows, the good news is he knows I'm in trouble. Right, so look. There's no point me trying to go full pelt for that green, right? When I can play the ball, just making sure there's no funny wiggly bits here. I can put it there. 11, still 10%, 8 rings. And it's going to kick over. So I'm just going to add some outer wall curl to this. Oh. But it's up there. Need to change that graphic that shows latest subscriber as well. Apologies to Cody and Jeff. Your names would be up there. Anatomy123 joined me yesterday on Twitch. I had Tommy join the stream last week. That was quite nice. So, actually, I am going to play this as a roll-up. I wasn't going to. I was going to technique it then, but so drop. Oh no! Cardinals in. Cardinal sin. Me being lazy. Come on, Andy. Give me another. Last time I played him, I think it was a 3-0 to me, but the time before that, he did the same to me, so. Alright, here we go, 10%. I used to get so stressed when I lost a game. Like I said, I lost 900 trophies last Tuesday in like 3 hours. 10.6. So, remember what I said before? 6.2 top, 2 left. Point your button at this middle part. Max plus 10, 9.5. Push up. Turn great left again. Real thing for the great lefts today. Hopefully it will do the same as it last. Oh, it doesn't look like I've hit it hard enough. Go on. Ah. Have a little temper tantrum. What day is it today? Tuesday. I'll be having another look on Master Mini tomorrow. Had a run through yesterday. Had a follower join in, thank you. Get stuck in, ask any questions. Got about 10 minutes left. Just time for me to lose another couple more. Go on, Andy, ping that over. He's gone a great left as well. He's put more curl on it than me. That face makes it sound like he got quite near to the pin. Oh no, gutted. Alright. So normally at minimum distance this would be a 1.8 adjustment. But we're going to play a 0.8 adjustment. Oh, should have paid 1.8, that might have dropped. I drop more rough shots now than I ever did on any other tours because I spend so much time in the rough. I bet he drops this now. Oh, come on. Ah, now I get a connection. He's got a connection too. Oh no, it's kicked us off. I don't even know. Said match forfeited. It's given me the loss. I didn't even see him take his shot. He must have held it. Let me just move that back over here. Just every now and again the Wi-Fi just drops out for no reason. It's only 60 million coins, can't take it with you. First shot on this is plus 10%, 2 ways to play it, straight over, bounce to the right hand side. My strong recommendation is always play to the right hand side. Unless you've got an epic tailwind, because you can get held up. Titan's fine for this hole. No need to pull a KM, even though you're curling it. I've seen too many people with this. They'll over curl it and end up bringing it into the sort of southern rough, if you like. Just announced today, St Patrick's Day tournament's going to be on this course. So if you're not only stepping up to Tour 12 but looking at playing Master tournaments, then watch how I play this hole. This should be a guaranteed eagle. It'll be if you mess up a shot that it's not. If you play the same setup, I'm going to play blue ring, 6 top, 2 right, max plus 10. I've used quite a lot of curl there because the wind was right to left. Right to left, and so I wanted to make sure. But I'd have used about a ball on any other given circumstance: tailwind, headwind, left to right. Minus 10% this shot, playing quite a long way uphill. Massive glitch roll here. Massive glitch roll. Call this the last one. So again, 2 ways to play this. You can either pitch it before the bunker. You're going to be playing about 4 top spin, or 3 left spin if you're on a KM, or 2 left spin if you're not. But he doesn't want to do this, what he's doing now. He wants to play 4 back spin and 3 left spin. Well, what do I know? He wants to do whatever he wants to do. 4 backspin is going to put you in the pocket of the ball. This is going to end up curling towards the bottom of the green, I think. No, it's held. It's held. .6. So I'm going to need to put some curl on this, but I'm going to go 4 back and 2 left. I'm going to so I know that if I've got the clearing against the rough there, what I can do is push that up to there. Adjustment's 9.4, so that's 5. About there. Didn't want great right. Have I put enough curl on that to hold? Yeah. Too much, apparently. More than he did. Be alright. Just dink it up. And that should be a guaranteed eagle on this. Very difficult hold to albatross. Very difficult. I remember in the last expert tourney I played, when I played this course, Boris Spanko had an absolutely guaranteed nailed on shot with Guardian for this. I remember my my clan mates sharing it with me. Oh look, could I have a stronger crosswind? No, you can't. 16.5. Going to finish up on this shootout. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell for your notifications. I stream a couple times a week on Tour 12. I do tournament practices, I do qualifying rounds, opening rounds, weekend rounds, whatever I've got time for really. Alright, so strong wind on this. This is going to be a mid plus 10. And I would normally play this about 3 top. I'm going to go 2.5 because that is such a strong wind. And I would normally add quite a bit of curl onto this. But I'm just not going to add any because that wind's going to push it right over. Hopefully have enough pace. Oh, it's running slowly, that might drop short and low. Yeah, it's going to get within a yard, that's the trick. It's not quite. Thanks Cody, thanks for joining, appreciate it. See you on the next one. Topspin on that. I dialed it back because it was 16 mile an hour. It's my most hold shootout on Tour 12 for sure, this one. When it was on Tour 9 I couldn't get near it. I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't work out how to play it at all. And then on Tour 12 I don't know, I just I think it appeared in a tournament. I think it played 2 different winds during that tourney and they were both sort of diametrically opposed, and I figured out how to adjust it on the in-between winds. Can't remember. I know it's appeared on a tournament recently. Yeah, he's gone higher than me here. And that's really what you want to do, because he's going to, unless he gets too much pace on that, which he hasn't got, he's going to stop this within about half a yard, I think. Yeah. Well played. That's me done. What is it, Tuesday? How are we doing for the week so far? 1.92. Season stats. Just over 20k. Cloints. I just hit 5 billion today. For the first time. Hit 5 billion. I was on 3 billion 2 weeks ago, so Tour 12 really does build it for you. As I said, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitch. Ring that notification bell. Send me a message, whatever you want. I'll be streaming regularly. Be good to see you all. I've really enjoyed your company tonight, and I thank you. I will see you again very soon.
Follow Panic Sphere on YouTube and Twitch.